Hi and welcome to my editing workflow. After recording a video, I make sure to organize it properly. If it's a tutorial, I have a camera folder with me talking and another folder for the screen recording. If it's a travel video, I might organize it by location or even a camera type, like Sony, drone, GoPro, etc. I usually just drag my footage inside the media pool on the Davinci's edit tab. I almost never use media or cut tabs, because I can do it all inside this edit tab. Then I will go to project settings and set the timeline resolution and the FPS. Usually it's 1080p and 24 FPS, but recently I switched over to 30 FPS because I think it's more fitting for my type of content here on YouTube, but either are fine. I also had to quickly change the audio from mono that I was recording in to stereo, so that you can hear me in both ears and not just one, because that would be really annoying and awkward. Type of video: sit down and talk video. It's a video consisting of only my talking head and screen recordings. Just add them to the timeline and start cutting. Easy as that. The other type of video, I call it the vlog type video. So there's multiple short clips, because when you're vlogging, you start recording, you talk a little bit, you go to the next place, maybe you mess up, start over again, maybe want some B-roll, start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. So okay, we got it. Depending on the type of video, there's a little bit of different editing workflow, for me at least. Syncing, aligning. So this is only for sit down and talk video. Because I will have screen recording and camera recording at the same time, I clap at the beginning so that I could align the video in editing. By the way, I would really appreciate it if you liked this video. It would help me out a lot and would make me happy. And I will give you a cookie if you do it. Cutting! I look at the sound waves and start cutting out the quiet sections. I call it the rough cut. Because we're not precise, we don't listen to audio, we just look for the quiet sections and cut them out. Make sure that if you have a screen recording at top that should be matched with the talking head, that you cut them both and maintain the timing. When I cut, I always use 2x speed and keyboard shortcuts to speed up this process. I also add titles at the same time if I, for example, made a mistake. Like here, I mistakenly said Antarctic Ocean instead of Arctic Ocean, so I added title to remember that, and so that the viewers don't get confused. Or if I want to remember to do something with this part later, I also add a title. I also use markers sometimes, but markers don't move when you're dragging the clips. They only move when you delete spaces in between clips. So it's a little bit confusing, but try both and see which one you like the most. Another great use for markers is to get a visual representation of how long each section is. If I see that this part is too long, maybe I can cut it down a little bit more. After rough cut, I do precise cutting. I listen to what I said and cut out what I don't like, or sentences that are unnecessary and might lose viewers' retention, like you. Next, I decide where I want to show my face or the screen recording, or if it's a vlog, where to show myself talking to the camera or rather show B-roll. In vlog type videos, I often like to use a technique called J-cut, where you start your talking clip before the B-roll or cinematic part is over. Or you can also do it the opposite way and start the visuals of the second shot before the audio of the first one is over. Overlay, titles and images. I already mentioned titles. I use them when additional information is needed or I want to make something more funny. There's a bunch of ways you can adjust your titles, and Davinci has even some really nice presets you can use. At this stage I also add green screen elements as overlays. Yeah, just remember to remove the green screen. Same way you can add images on top of your video if you find it necessary. Normalizing audio. If you right click on audio clip, you can normalize it to a selected target. I'll do this to have the same audio level throughout the video. I have my audio levels to the right here. For dialogue, my dB should be between -5 and -10. Meanwhile, background music is between -25 and 30. Since we don't want to adjust the audio level for each clip, we're using the normalize audio function. I'll select all my talking head clips and normalize the audio with the target of -5 decibels and relative to each other. If it were a vlog filmed at multiple locations with a different level of loudness and background noise, I would use independent instead of relative. And if it was a vlog, I would also go manually through each clip and make sure the audio levels are adjusted correctly. Because there can be sudden loud noises in one clip and it would normalize according to that peak, the loudest peak or true peak. Meaning everything before and after that peak would get quieter. So sometimes it's okay to let that sudden noise be as loud as it wants and have clipping on it, so we are saving the audio of us talking before and after. Effects and transitions. For my sit down and talk videos, I love using the dynamic zoom function because it's so easy to use and adds more interest to your clips. But there are plenty of transitions and effects you can do. Some of my favorites are the simple ones like dynamic zoom, cross dissolve, crop, stabilization, retime controls and curve, and the transform. With keying and keyframes, there's so much you can do there. Music and sound effects. Next, I like to add background music. For now, I'm using whatever copyright-free music I can find on YouTube. And trust me, there's plenty of music. You just need to look for it. Adding some sound effects makes your videos so much more interesting and fun. But good sound effects are hard to find. Except if you have some sort of subscription to like Epidemic Sounds or Audible. Fusion tab. I occasionally use the Fusion tab if I want to create some sort of effect. For example, I often use it to create a 3D effect for the images I have on top of my videos. Or to remove a green screen, obviously. Or animate a map like I have shown in my previous tutorial. It's advanced, but there are so many things you can do there. But it's not part of my general workflow, so we'll skip it for now. Color! Last tab that I use is the color tab. I don't use any log profiles for my vlogs anymore because I find it so time consuming and painful to color correct or color grade the vlogs. Because when you're vlogging, the light conditions change all the time. Meanwhile, I think it's a good idea to color correct and color grade videos like this, where you just sit down and talk and light conditions are quite constant. And you don't have to adjust it for each clip individually, but just paste the same one on all of them and do minor adjustments. Because I think it's a good idea to have some sort of way your viewers can recognize your videos by. I think I'm gonna make a separate video on how I color grade my videos. So if you want to watch that, leave a like. Hey, this video is over. Here, take a cookie. You deserve it. Good job. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like and comment, and I will see you next one. Bye!